All right, guys, it's 6 o'clock. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded. And let's call the meeting to order.
Chris?
Yes.
Roger is absent. Lisa?
Yes.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
6 present, 1 absent.
Next up, we need an approval and adoption of the agenda.
I'll move. Motion by Caitlin Mays, seconded by Chris Bell, to approve and adopt the agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 6 yes, 1 absent.
We are going to talk about our board norms for the month of October. We're going to review board norms number 3 and 4. We will be fully present at the meeting by becoming familiar with materials before we arrive and by being attentive to behaviors which affect physical and mental engagement. And we will invite and welcome the contribution of every member and listen to each other. Now, if y'all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Molly, would you lead us, please?
I will.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up, we have some board recognition. Sherry, would you like to take care of that portion of it?
Sure.
Tonight's on our board recognition. This is for demonstrating the PBIS expectations. Be respectful, be responsible, and be safe at Cuba Elementary School. And
Yeah. I didn't realize you had a copy.
oh, okay.
Oh, you do?
Okay.
Well, everybody's got copies. We do. Do you want me to use these then? Just in
Yeah,
case we
I'll
have
just
to
call them.
Okay.
Okay.
So I haven't looked into the audience. I don't know if I have all my kiddos here, but I'm hoping I have most of them. So I'm going to go in order, starting with 4th grade. So those of you that don't know me, I am Mrs. Greed, the building principal at Cuba Elementary. Mason Wells is our first student we'll have come on up. These students will be receiving this board recognition. Here you go. You want to come over here? They will receiving this. They're receiving board recognition for demonstrating the PBIS expectations, and our big 3 rules in our building are: be responsible, be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. And these students have went above and beyond in our building. They earn tickets that they get to turn in, and then we do a drawing at the end of each month. So congratulations to you, Mason. Our 3rd grade student was Victor Hayes. I don't see Victor here tonight, but he did receive his certificate at school. We'll give him his extra copy. And then just in case we didn't have kiddos here tonight, they also received a movie night themed bucket. They got some candy, soda, and popcorn so they could celebrate at home with their family. Next, I have Nevaeh Moore for 2nd grade. Come on up, Miss Nevaeh. There you go. Super cute. She's really making me look rough over here. Oh, sorry. Awesome. Good job, babe. Next, in 1st grade, I have Miss Ellie Lang. There you go, Ellie. Congratulations. Oh. Good job. And then in kindergarten, I have Jackson Spencer, and I knew he wasn't going to make it tonight, and so we'll save his as well. We will continue to do this. We may be moving to quarterly, but I look forward to celebrating all of the hard work that goes into a full day at school for our kiddos. I know it takes a lot for some of them to be good all day. It's rough for me sometimes too, so thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, and tonight we also have a special recognition. And this nominee was nominated by Dr. Scott Davidson, and I'm just going to put this in there. This person has a special place in our family, so we always have thought the world of her. Dr. Davidson would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Molly Maxwell for her unwavering dedication to our Crawford County R2 athletes. Each fall, Molly organizes an annual golf tournament that consistently raises thousands of dollars to support our Wildcat athletes. This year alone, the event raised approximately $11,000, which was donated to the athletic boosters. Molly, your commitment to our athletes is truly appreciated, and thank you for all you do. Thank you.
Okay, next up we have citizen participation. This meeting is a business meeting of the Board of Education held in public. 30 minutes will be allotted to residents of the school district and staff to give the board the opportunity to listen to citizens. Remarks will be limited to 3 minutes and to 1 appearance, thus allowing for maximum number of participants in the allotted time in which citizens are to speak to issues. The board will not respond to comments at this time, but you will receive a response to any questions from the district superintendent and/or a member of the board within a reasonable amount of time after this meeting. Additionally, members of our community may contact individual board members to engage in dialogue about school matters. During this public comment period, we ask that speakers refrain from using profanity, and speakers who violate this rule may be asked to leave. So, we do not have anybody signed up tonight, so we can move right along. Actually, if those that want to sneak out, you can go ahead and do that.
Molly.
I mean, we'd love to have you stay. All right, we're going to move into consent agenda items. You have a list of about 4 different items in consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions about any particular items? If not, we do need a motion.
I make the motion.
I'll second. Thank you.
Motion by Lisa Alrod, seconded by Caitlin Mace, to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 6 yes, 1 absent.
Next up, we have the financial statement for the October bills. There are three different check runs. Hopefully you're taking your time to look through those. If there's no questions, I do need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Tammy Palmer, seconded by Chris Bell, to approve the financial statement and action on the October bills as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Abstain.
Opposed?
Abstain.
4 yes, 1 absent, 2 abstain.
Let's move into administrative reports. Let's start with board and committee reports. There were 2 different conferences that happened for our board members and superintendent this month. What did we have? 4 that attended the mayor conference. And then Sherry, you attended MSBA. There were some good breakout sessions. If anybody wants to get with those board members that went to the conference and share what we learned, you're more than welcome to do that, that's for sure. Sherry, do you have anything to add from MSBA since you were the Lone
Yes,
Ranger?
I do. No, there was a couple of them that sessions that I went to that were really good. One of them was MISHA, which is the Missouri State High School Athletic Association or Activities Association, and I gave a little bit of information to Dr. Davidson on that one, but that is something that I would encourage our admin to meet with the director. She did a very good job, and the attorney was with her. I think I think some people would realize that what's going on with Mission, find out how they work with schools and stuff. I just know from Steve being on Steve being an AD, that he was up there at different times with them, but it's good people that are up there. Unfortunately, I don't know any of them anymore, but I think that would be something that our admin could look into, and maybe we could even co-op with Bourbon and Steelville to arrange that. So that's just something to think about. Another one, and I think I gave the flyer to Mrs. Missy over here. If you guys have gone to Cuba Fest and you have seen the trolley tour, and they take you through the cemetery, there was a school that was up there that does something very similar to that. It's handled completely by the students in the student showcase. So I would like to see if maybe there is something that our kiddos could possibly present at the next meeting, which is next year. And it's going to be at Kansas City again, in the same place that we were at this year, which I felt more comfortable there than I did at the other one. So that's just something to think about. And if you're interested, any of you guys interested, because they had middle school and high school people or kids presenting. If you're interested, let me know and I'll get you more information on that. Of course, if from here it'd be, 3-hour plus trip, but schools do make that trip, and they do a wonderful job. It's all, all the board members, everybody that's there really feel that it's something to go to. The last one, this one I get a kick out all the time. When you're there, of course, it's just like in conferences we've gone to, you have vendors there. The one vendor that was by a booth that I was kind of in charge of had printouts, and that's what everybody was going to get, these printouts. They were giving away these pictures. So I brought a few of them just to show you guys. This one, I really like. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you know I get a little crazy sometimes. And this next one, if you don't know, this is the Royals catcher. And just telling my age here, I grew up watching these people, watched when the Royals came to Kansas City, when the Chiefs came. So yeah, we've been big supporters. This one, you guys may know this person. But this next one is the one that everybody was after, and probably they're like me, I don't even know what these people were trying to sell anyway, but everybody was going for the pictures, because they gave all these away. Oh my God. Oh my word. So I thought I'd bring them tonight just to show you. We had a little fun with these. But it was a pretty good conference this year. They had a lot of good things going on. I just had to leave early because we had family commitment on Saturday night, so. But anyway.
Well, I'm glad that you went. Thank you for that.
So I'd just like to say a thank you to the board members who were able to make it. I know it was time out of your lives and schedules, and the ones who weren't definitely understand, because you have busy schedules as well. So I think just good to see a bigger picture from the federal, state level, from DESE, just kind of everything we do and work towards and stuff we're up against. So,
And I did go to the legislative meetings, and that's the same thing every year, doom and gloom, so.
That'd be great. It'll be
Yeah.
Okay, let's move into our building principal reports. If you would each give me, or give our board, one win from your building, that would be great, or just one thing you'd like to highlight, in addition or whatever to your board report. Let's start in the elementary.
Mrs. Brown comes back to work in 2 weeks. No, a lot of great things going on in our building. I would consider our win for the month of October, since it's like started and finished like so fast. I don't know how we're already towards the end of October. Would be I am pretty proud of our attendance. Our kids come to school really excited to be there. We know that we meet different needs with our kids coming into the building. Some of them come ready to learn, excited to be there. Some come to us tired. Some come to us just for the love and comfort or for a meal. So we're excited to have kids there no matter what condition they come in. So I'm pretty proud of our attendance numbers and how many kids we get to school every day.
That's awesome. All right, middle school, Mrs. Shoemaker.
Well, yeah, 6th grade had their trip to the symphony today. That's courtesy of the Cuba Arts Council. They always provide tickets for us for that each year. And this year it was kind of a dance theme. So not only was the symphony playing, but they also had ballet dancers there. So that was kind of neat to see that, some of the kids really got into it, and others was like, yeah. But it's always a nice trip, and it's a great cultural experience for our kids to experience, because it's not something that they're necessarily going to do themselves, but just gives them a taste of something different. And we had a good trip up and back, no incidents or anything. And then we had our first dance of the school year. We had a Halloween dance, and we got to hold that in the courtyard this year because it's, not wet and swampy and everything, but they had a fun time with that being outside, so, yeah.
Your kids looked great, your sixth graders looked really good walking into the building today.
Yeah, yeah, they only dress up about 3 times a year: Picture Day, Symphony Day, and band
Retake day.
concerts. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, they all looked really nice today.
High school.
I think our win is our MOOPS program. We have 5 students enrolled. 3 are gonna be done testing by the end of October, and the one that went today passed all 3 of her tests, so we're optimistic she'll pass the other 2 tomorrow, and we'll be handing out a diploma tomorrow, so.
Awesome, thank you. My computer is a little crazy right now. Let's move into the special education report.
We have all of our para positions filled. We filled that last one last week, so we are all filled. And the last one we hired is doing really well.
She's amazing.
Amazing. So, yes, very
That's a
good.
great win, awesome.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Abby.
I feel like homecoming went very well for how busy it was, and we have taken into consideration like all the feedback we got from it. We did our own music this year, so we will be probably bringing back DJP as as the DJ. Always make it a little easier on us. And FCCLA and FBLA went to Silver Dollar City, so it was really fun. Gonna miss it, but we learned a lot for Career Day. And FFA went to National Convention today. They left this morning. We'll be back on Friday. Excited to see what they learned. Probably the biggest parts.
Perfect, thank you. Assistant Superintendent report.
Yes, my big win is that we have hired 2 licensed bus drivers and we get to bring back 2 routes. So we are full officially for the first time in me being in this position. We have a full crew of bus drivers. So that's very exciting, and that means we only have 2 second loads that have to be supervised after school. So that's a big win for the buildings as well.
I did see that in your report, as well as the pictures of the new buses.
Yeah.
Those look sharp. That's, I'm just glad that the board is committed to keeping like our fleet just, up to date and nice looking and not having buses break down. That's very, very important. So thank you to everybody for making that initiative a priority. Superintendent report.
All right, guys, get ready. There's a few more than just one. It's been busy. We got a lot of good things moving, but just kind of want to give some updates. In my report, I made reference to meeting with Dr. Sean Siebert and Mrs. Warland and I met. So pretty good opportunity for us. So he has a program with Fight the Good Fight and 50 by Friday, and to get everything communicated properly. These funds were from a grant through the Crawford County Opioid Settlement Funds, and then so our application was put in and approved by Mr. Siebert. So Simon Siebert works with Dr. Sean Siebert as well. So the Merrimack Regional Planning Commission approved, and then the Crawford County Opioid Disbursement Advisory Board and the Crawford County Commission approved all that. So it's a really big community support with that. But essentially, he had met with then our high school staff, and then I followed up with them as well. So we have an opportunity to pilot that second semester in a leadership class, and then also could go into work with some students from Flex and then our ALC. So I think a good program for our students there. Yes,
Well, and to
indeed.
add a few other pieces to that, so this grant initiative is not only for our school district, it is for the 3 schools in the county. The grant was written for $3,885, and so what that grant looks like is to place roughly 100 books in each of the 3 county schools. So I am excited. The news that I got was that the high school is looking to roll this out. When I I kind of did quick numbers with the flex kids and then the leadership class and then the ALC, I think, and possibly also Mrs. Abdenova's after school reading group. You think maybe 70-ish kids, probably.
That's what I think, yeah.
Yeah, and so Bourbon is starting this program as soon as second semester starts. Stillville, they're working out all of their details. So I think the really cool piece to this is the curriculum is being provided for free to our district. It's Sean wrote the curriculum, and so to be given curriculum for free is really a big deal. And so.
Yeah, which is nice. It ties into our Missouri Learning Standards and then with our college career readiness. So it's really a good piece there just to help our students in the high school kind of get a plan of action in place to move forward. So I think a nice piece to complement what we're doing.
I think it also goes hand in hand. I know we've talked in this boardroom before about just trying to give our counselors extra help. Like, how do we help them help kids? And so what I've seen from this program is that it's a really great way to do that. It's a really great thing to make social emotional learning. It's going to bring community involvement. The kids are going to go into the community for certain pieces of this learning piece, and so I think you're going to see some great changes start right here. And man, if we can pilot something like that, and people, I feel like people are going to look at our district and say, what are they doing there? Because we want that. So I'm a little bit excited.
So the other thing in the works, have the Capital Projects Task Force. We're going to do our first meeting on October 30th, and there's also a first meeting on November 7th. So I have roughly over 20 volunteers in the community, so I appreciate everybody's work there. And that's just going to be simply kind of over the last 4 years, have some ideas of just how to maintain what we currently have. We'll do a walkthrough, look at kind of what we want to prioritize, and then work to get some numbers together. So, but this is a slow play. We won't, board would not have to make a decision until December of 25. So we've got over a year to work through this process here. But looking forward to that. And again, just meeting needs of our current and future Wildcats. I think we can do some pretty nice stuff for those students. The other thing, so this is some not so fun information. So Music is our insurance provider, and it's a not-for-profit organization, but they've been hit with more property claims and workman comp claims. So they're looking at increasing rates another 22.5%. So they do think after this increase they should be able to level off. So last year we spent about $204,000. That would raise it this year to $250,000, so about a $46,000 increase there. Now, some things to keep in mind, though, that $250,000 is insuring $70 million of assets for us. We look at it as assets; they look at it as liability, but that is our facilities, and then they also look at making payroll and that as well. So, one thing to keep in mind: it doesn't matter how big the claim is; it's a $1,000 deductible from Music. So if you look at private insurance, they may have a $1 million deductible before they pay out with such large catastrophes. So, so just kind of prepping for that. But again, they're hoping that after this year, then that'll level off. But we normally don't put on that until December, so they're still getting information for us for that. So just kind of giving you a heads up.
Let's move into unfinished business and let's get a 24-25 budget update, please.
Yes, so again, glad to say in a good place. Current revenues received year to date, we're at 38% in comparison to expenditures at 74%. So everything's on course and in a good place there. Finances.
Moving into new business, we have some policy updates, policy and regulation updates. Historically, these come to you, say this month, we'll review them, give you time a month to ask questions about them, and then we will actually approve them next month. There's quite a lengthy list if you open up all of the policies and regulations. particular you want to point out?
I did. So policy 4315 did go ahead and put that in with the ones that were recommended from MCE. And so that looks at our classified sick leave payout. Right now it's at $10 per day. And looking at what we do with our certified, I took the same verbiage with that. And so we pay out 50% of our current sub rate. So just took that verbiage and applied it to classified. So the language in there would be paying out 50%. And so whenever the board sets the salary schedule for subs, then that would automatically adjust. So right now that's at $100 for classified subs. So that would move it from $10 to $50. But did want to make you aware of that, that's analysis.
Okay, and I would just advise you to really read those and ask, ask questions in advance because there are so many of them. Just if you need clarification on anything. Okay, next up is to approve applying for the Feminine Hygiene Products Grant.
Yep. So we have a policy that just asks the board to approve grants before we apply for them, and I'm sure that is so the board's aware of the finances coming into the district. Well, we're eligible for $1,666.55, but that can go towards toothbrushes, deodorant, shampoo, soaps as well, undergarments, as well as feminine products.
So we do need a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Motion by Tammy Palmer, seconded by Lisa Elrod to apply for the Feminine Hygiene Product Grant as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? 6 yes, 1 absent.
Okay. Next up, we have the Board of Education proposed agenda items. We do not have any. Our next item is a resident agenda item. We have Hannah Bowen here to talk about 7th and 8th grade football. So,
Do you want me to stand?
yeah, so you do have 5 minutes to talk to us about all of this. So before you get started, there is a presentation that was in your packet. I just looked through it. She's also going to go more in depth. And
I will go in depth as questions come, because I've already presented it once, and if I need to relay the information again, I have no problem doing so. But with the more in-depth presentation, I didn't know if there would be additional questions or not.
so whenever you came before, that was just citizen participation and not
Right.
really like a full presentation. So
Right.
yeah, if you want to touch on anything in particular, definitely use your time now
Right.
to talk about
If you
like particular items.
skip to the 9th slide, it shows the costs. Coach Duarte I just recently updated the helmet cost, and he got a quote with roughly $6,500. But that is only youth helmets, so that could potentially be more, depending on how many adult helmets may be needed.
How about ref costs?
Oh, that was in my old thing that I had done. This reffing was, nope, not that one. I'll have to find it again, unfortunately.
It's okay, I thought I remembered seeing it at one point, but when I didn't see it on here, I wasn't sure what.
I did have it on there, because I went through and made that spreadsheet with every sort of total that you could potentially think of.
I think it's typically about $130 an
Yeah.
official, and do they need
There's
4
4.
or 5?
But.
There's usually 3.
3 for middle school.
Yeah. That's what we do for the youth programs. We usually have 3 reps per game. And then as far as some of the questions that I had gotten about practice areas, we can always, the plan was to potentially practice them together. That way they're all learning the same techniques, learning the same plays, and everyone learns unanimously versus one coach teaching this, one coach teaching that.
When you say practice together, do you mean 7th grade and 8th grade, or do you mean practicing with the high school?
Middle school and high school together.
Okay.
Yes. But you can do the high school field, you can do the practice field over by the baseball field. Hood Park you could potentially use, which I know that would kind of mean busing students, so that's probably not the best choice. You could also use Hood Park to play your games if you didn't want to overuse the high school field. And then the baseball outfield and behind the softball field are also usable areas. And then as far as the next slide, which is the scheduling, most middle school programs do Thursday nights, or you could do Mondays before or after JV, depending on the scheduling of what other schools may want. And then for the youth program, we usually play Saturdays at 1, whether that is away or home. And then I know there's a question of overlapping with middle school sports, which that would obviously be an AD scheduling thing. I'm not sure how far it would overlap with middle school basketball, but that is something that could potentially happen. And then if you go to the next slide, it talks about the opponents. These are all of our surrounding schools that have middle school football currently. So that is potential opponents. And then also the Quad County, I believe is the actual name of the conference right now. They all also have middle school football. And then the next slide is the history of art. Oh, just kidding, next one is staff. I kind of skipped one. But we have mentee coaches now, so they already have the knowledge of how we work, whether it's in the high school, I mean. So that would be easier to push with the middle school. And then you can also just hire community coaches if that is necessary. Now the next one is history. So our numbers are not exactly super high for 7th and 8th grade, which I'm hoping that pushing it through the school will aid in that. Because then it's school affiliated, so they don't have to worry about getting to and from practice. They'll be here right after school. Cost is another thing, because for the youth program, some parents can't afford it. And if it's through the school, it's more easily affordable, I feel. That's all I have to say about that one. And then we also do flag, which I feel like flag is a great thing to help aid in the tackle part, because it works on fundamentals. It may not be tackling per se, but they get the footwork, they get the plays, they get the agility. And our numbers have, our fall numbers are definitely smaller than spring, because we only offer Pee-wee through 2nd and fall, because you can start tackle at 3rd grade. So then our numbers haven't been big enough to have individualized teams, which I don't know for sure if we would be able to have a separate 7th grade and 8th grade team, but the combination of both is what we've usually been working with.
Is that what all those other teams do also, is combine 7th and 8th grade?
Teams that we play in the Four Rivers Conference that our youth program is a part of, some of them have 7th and 8th grade combined, but some of them also have just 7th and just 8th, which if you combine at that, you have to play up a level.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So if we're 7th and 8th, then we have to play at 8th, 5th and 6th has to play at 6th, and so forth and so on. But as far as the other schools around us, I am not sure. I mean, I can definitely find out.
I just wondered, your list of potential opponents, if they were, if they have both 7th and 8th grade teams at school on your school.
With Dr. Davidson know Owensville's by chance?
I do, so they have a 7th
And-
and 8th separate. It's their first year. They are having some challenges with the number of students coming out. They had 14, I think they're now down to 11. But there's also potential for a 7th, 8th grade. So some schools do have only one team, which is combined. So,
All right, we are at time. Does anybody have additional questions that you'd like to ask now?
Can I ask Coach Duarte about his,
you can, since he's
Okay.
presenting.
okay, sorry.
Thanks for asking.
Well, I
It's
didn't
just-
blurt it out there.
And this is per policy, so we do have a policy that sets up guidelines for
what I
presentations. But
Can I add one more thing? As far as the teams go, I know that St. James started out with a mix, but eventually it grew to the point where they could split teams, so that could potentially work in our favor as well.
Thanks, Hannah.
Welcome, thank you.
Thanks. So, there's, with it being a resident agenda item, it's obviously not something that we would take action on or anything like that. Does anyone have any discussion between us before we move on for a question? Okay, let's move on to approving our next board meeting. So the third Thursday is November 21st. School calendar's pretty okay.
Oh, is it?
It's not Thanksgiving.
I was like, it's Thanksgiving.
It's not.
I'm not coming.
Have a pre-Thanksgiving.
Look at your calendar, Caitlin. I'll move for the 21st at 6 p.m. That's not Thanksgiving. I second that. Motion by Caitlin May, seconded by Lisa Elrod, that the November board meeting be scheduled on Thursday, November 21st, 2024 at 6 p.m. with closed session to follow. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 6 yes, 1 absent.
Okay. Next motion we need is to go into closed session after a 2-minute recess.
Motion by Caitlin May, seconded by Chris Bell, to go into closed session in accordance with the provisions of section 610.021, subsection 3, 6, 13, and 14 of the revised statutes of Missouri in order to discuss personnel after a 10-minute recess. Roger is absent. Lisa?
Yes.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 absent.